Let's take a look at the third one. World is created. The rise of Homo sapiens. Factories are built. The rise of industrialism. Cars are invented. The rise of convenience. Plastic is invented. More convenience. CFCs are invented. Convenience and comfort. World is slowly destroyed. Now, I think that this is a brilliant one. These are the most significant events in all of world history. Well, how do we choose significant events? Are CFCs invented? Would you choose that as one of the most significant events in all of world history? Probably not, particularly now that the CFC problem, chlorofluorocarbon problem, we've got a solution to that one. We're on to bigger and more complicated problems, apparently. But she has constructed a narrative, and each one of these events has a place in that narrative. And it achieves its significance by its place in this story. And she's talking about the big world out there, but she's also put this together in a way that has tremendous meaning for her and for all of us. This is a big story, and I think, in fact, this grade 11 student has done the kind of thing, has done the kind of thing that historians do. They take discrete bits, put those together into a story that makes sense, that's important for us. And Jerry may tell me I'm wrong on this, and it's got to count for us. Otherwise, it's simply antiquarianism out there. It doesn't relate to us. It doesn't build our sense of where we are today, where we're going in the future. Those are the kinds of things she's done. Okay, I want to go to one more example that weaves together three of the concepts: evidence, historical perspective taking, and the moral dimension. And this starts out with a cartoon that was published in Harper's Magazine in 1865. And you probably can't read the caption that's coming out of the mouth of the white man who's sitting on the porch. And it says, "Okay, we've taken care of you for long enough. Now you've got to get to work." And I asked students, and these were groups of 3 students, to discuss this this cartoon and what it was about, and whether the author of the cartoon was trying to make a point in one way or another. And I'm going to go through. Let me know when 25 minutes is up. Okay. The first group, what's the picture about? Maybe they think that we've taken care of you. Maybe they think that how whites, they took over the world, established, you know what I mean? And then the blacks just come, they just live there first, right? Second student says, no, they owned them. First student, I mean, in the very beginning, when the whites came and the blacks came or something. Second student, the blacks, they didn't have power. They shipped them over. They were imported by white people. So again, we see these students running up against the problem of not knowing much about the slavery in the United States. They know a bit about Canadian history. They're superimposing race relations, Aboriginal white relations in Canada, or it's the problem of 7C, superimposing those relations on the situation between slave owners and enslaved African Americans in the United States. Second group, this is a completely different group of students. I don't know, what do you think? It's like go and like work while the white guy like sits on his ass and reads the paper. Like how these guys in their nice big fancy home and this guy is about to go pick and hoe the fields. What is all this like, we've taken care of you for? They're all inside and the guy's not even allowed, the black guy's not even allowed in there, not even to talk to the guy. rock back and forth, read my paper, and I wonder what that black guy is thinking. Like, sure, guy, I think I want to kill you. Now, this group of students were from an alternative school. They had all had difficulties themselves, and they were reading, in a sense, they were reading themselves back into this situation, the kinds of hostility they knew full well, the kinds of hostility or generated hostility about people in authority. Now, I didn't ask you how you saw the interpretation of this cartoon. I'm just realizing that. Does anyone want to volunteer very quickly an interpretation of that cartoon? What's going on in the cartoon? What's Harper's and what's the cartoon doing?
Can you flip back to it for a moment?
Let me.
If not, it's not a big deal.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm getting toward the end, I can see. Okay. Anyone want to volunteer? What, do you know Harper's Magazine? Yes, go ahead.
I thought he was perhaps talking to the women on the veranda.
Okay, that's an interesting interpretation. Let me go on. No. Anyone? Thank you for that. Anyone else want to give it a try? Yes.
It's in the American Civil War, and the white Southerners viewed slavery as looking after them because if they were still alive, they fed them enough. But now that they are emancipated, now they're going to have to look after themselves.
Okay, and how about the perspective of the cartoonist? Pro-abolition. He is drawing through the visual cues. There, I mean, who looks like the hard worker here? It's just a dramatic irony between the person who's saying, okay, we've done so much work taking care of you, now you've got to get to work. Whereas we can see clearly the person who's been doing the work, taking care of the slave owner, is the African American. So, this is a complex. It's a complex cartoon, and if they didn't know American history, it's even more difficult. I'm just going to show you the last group, and then I'm going to stop. Here's the final group that, in some ways, got it. Back then, it would have been a different point of view to what we see now, right? So historical perspective taking, yeah. Completely different, because back then they were probably trying to make a point that the black people didn't work enough, or maybe that they were lazy, right? Okay, maybe that's the point. She's got it wrong here. That's not the point of the cartoon. Yeah, and he has the instructions to go to work, which he should have known, but now we see it like he shouldn't have been going to work anyways, for him without pay anyway. Now we see it as racism. That's the first thing you think of when you look at this picture. This is back through present-day eyes. Yeah, unless the artist was like really advanced in his thinking, saying really they're better off if they're working. Yeah, there were like sympathetic people. So here's finally, this group struggles to something that's worthwhile. There's bits of evidence in there, there's bits of historical perspective taking, and certainly the moral dimension, which we can discuss further. Here is the homepage of the Benchmarks website. I won't talk about it, but just to let you know it's there, exploring these concepts more fully. And also to say that Canadian history textbook publishers, this is from a Thompson Duval textbook, the Oxford University Press, McGraw-Hill are all working on building these into new materials that either have recently come out or are coming out soon. Thank you all for your tolerance on my overtime.
Thank you.